Okay, I've got things sorted out. I am missing a piece, but it's not a major piece, and I can have it printed in under 5-10 minutes. Okay, we're missing a connector pin, which those print pretty fast. All right, now, the pipes I was worried about, they're here. They're just on a part that it didn't show. These two parts go together like this. I have them connected. I'm pulling them apart. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on them and glue them because they do go that way and they fit pretty good. So there's absolutely no reason for me to not glue them. Okay, I'm going to glue some of these parts together. Now, the directions that come with it they're not bad. Unlike some things, they're in English. The guy who did the version 3 Starship and the launch tower, he did not type any of that in English. So I'm having to rely on Google Translate. And you can see these parts, they fit together really nice. You can't even see them. And I'm going to go ahead and I've got a clamp sitting here. I'm going to go ahead and clamp these because this super glue works really good if it's clamped and just left for a little while. It is the Hobby Lobby super glue, and it, again, holds together really well. These two parts go together like this. I'm going to go ahead and glue them. Okay, I did print this part right here in color with 3 different colors. So this is one of those parts I do not want to reprint. Okay, there are some pieces that go on the sides here, but I'm going to go ahead and glue these two together. They fit pretty tight, so I don't have a problem gluing them together either. My suggestion with all 3D printed models is test fit, then glue. I've already done that. I already know one spot where I'm going to have some issues putting it together. I get impatient sometimes. I'm one of those who glues quickly and test later, and I should not do that. Now I've got this put together. I'm going to go get a clamp and let it sit for a few minutes. I can put its side pieces on while it is being held with the clamp. Okay? And I like these little Irwin clamps. I've looked for them since I got them, and I can't find them anywhere. It's almost as if we found something useful for model building at a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and they're like, no, we can't have you. You cannot do that. Let me loosen this clamp a little bit and turn it. There, now if I turn it this way, there's 2 little pieces that go in here. They're right here, in here. I wish I'd printed them in a different color, but I didn't think this thing through completely. I've got some of my colors a little wrong in places. I could use a marker to color them, and I might try that in a little bit. You know, one of the paint markers, we're not talking about just a marker. We're talking about getting a paint marker out and putting it in there. I did not test fit these. Everything's been fitting so well, I'm making an assumption. And you know what the word assumption means? Making an ass of you and me. Is that one of those words I can't say on YouTube? I don't know. I used a word the other day that I couldn't say on YouTube and had to bleep it out. And I didn't even think that was a forbidden word. It didn't make any sense to me. It would be a forbidden word, but it was a forbidden word. All right, so now I've got 2 assemblies being glued, and they can sit and wait. 3rd assembly. Now, this has got some pins on it, but it didn't print the connector pins. So I'm just going to have to manually align this thing and clamp it. And let me go get a couple of clamps for it. And it won't be that hard to do. I've done worse pieces like this without pins with model building. It's just going to have to be a little bit of patience and then get the clamp on it correctly, and we'll be good to go. Now for that, I'm not using the Irwin clamps, although I've got them. Hey, I could use that Irwin clamp. But I'm also going to use some clamps I've got from Harbor Freight Tools. And Harbor Freight Tools has been improving their stuff a lot as of late. Irwin clamp. This isn't very useful for model building. For woodworking, it would. Dollar store clamp, which I don't think you can get at the dollar store anymore. So we're going to glue this together. There are some other sub-assemblies I can do, but I'm afraid to do them without the proper orientation on there and without other parts together. And I do need to go print the connector pin for this. It's missing. Okay. And I don't want to screw that up. So let's put that on there. The glue will help hold it down. And I got my alignment. Approximate. This little clamp will help me get my alignment better by holding it while I move it. I probably need that one clamp. Get my cheater glasses on so I can see it just a little bit better. It's not going to line up perfectly. I think that clamp needs to be released and re-engaged after I get it aligned right. But the clamp held while the super glue starts binding, so it's being held in place a little bit better while I maneuver it around. There's going to be a seam on this part. There's not much I can do about that. That looks pretty decent right there. I'm going to use the Irwin clamp because it will hold just a little bit better, and it's a little easier to precisely clamp with. We'll put this little dollar store clamp on that end. So we've got another assembly done. Is there anything else I can do for a pre-assembly? Yes, this piece can go in a piece that I've got gluing over here. I'm going through this. There are some other pieces I can glue together for various places. This goes on here like so. There is no real alignment for it, so it's going to be one of those where I just get a clamp and clamp it. Yeah, that piece goes on there. That's pretty decent to do. There's another piece that looks like I can just glue them together and it won't cause issues. It's this one and this one. And after that, I'm going to have to go print a plug that fits in here. But that, again, is a few minutes on the printer. And we'll be good to go. Let this sit for an hour or two, then come back and do another assembly. I also forgot about some things until a little bit ago, and I need to get busy on them, but that's doable. Real doable. I have one of my daughters turns 9 tomorrow. She loves monkeys, so I gotta go print a whole bunch of monkeys. Okay? I only get her for an hour or two tomorrow. The lot of the father. The fathers don't catch breaks when it comes to kids or anything. It's one of those things that really ought to change. But I can't change that without a crap ton of money. I've got enough evidence that she's a bad mom. Don't worry about that. That's not the problem. The problem is the attorneys have got the court system set up to where you can't do anything for child custody without $20,000 or $30,000 going to them. It's just, they got the system rigged. That's why I ought to quit what I'm doing and go to law school and become an attorney. I would not mind taking money, helping people keep their kids and stuff like that. But there are issues. Lots of issues. I got one more piece I think I can glue together pretty safely. Let's look through these directions one more time. I think I can glue those two together pretty safely, which are these two right here. Yeah, I can glue those pretty safely. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that will be the extent of the gluing I can do until I get that one part printed. Hey, everything belongs on the floor today. It's one of the fun things of today. Everything belongs on the floor. Your laundry, your milk, your cat, your phone, your food. One of those clumsy days that you don't want to have happen. Well, this is about as far as I can go with gluing for right now. There are other things I could glue, but it would be better to be going through assembly while I do this. And I think it's good for me just to put these parts down, walk away from them for a bit, and let them cure up. That thing is pretty much glued. About as far as I'm going to be able to glue it. It is missing a piece. Where's the missing piece? had it in my hands. I promise you. Oh, the missing pieces here being glued. Okay. So that's as far as I can glue that. That's the last page. This page right here. There is a piece, this thing that shows it could be glued right now. But I'm going to wait. Yeah, I think that's as far as I'm going to glue right now, because everything's on clamps. I see one more part that I can glue without it being on a clamp, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. This part right here glues into the top, and it glues right into this spot right here like this, and there's a pipe that comes out of it like that, and I feel okay gluing that right now. Let's pull that out. And that'll be the last piece I glue for at least an hour. We'll let it sit. We'll let it cure. And then I'll come back and start putting major assemblies together. And I can get that one pin printed in the meantime. And there we go. I can let this thing sit for about an hour. All right, I'll be back in a bit. And we will do the other part of this thing. We'll start putting the pieces together. And the part that I broke, you're going to be able to see it, but I'm not entering this in any model building contest, so ain't too worried about it. Your average person walking up and looking at it is just going to be overwhelmed by the size of it and the shininess of it. They're going to see this shiny thing and go, wait, nope, can't do anything. We're good. That's good. It's beautiful. We're going to leave it alone. Is it really that big? If you look at the bottom of the 1/100 scale for Starship, they are huge. It's because they're vacuum Raptors, and the size of the engine bell changes with air pressure. So sea level Raptors are going to be much smaller than this because the gas doesn't have to expand as much to get thrust. And that's because you're dealing with atmospheric pressure. At a higher pressure, you're fighting the pressure for the gases coming out to give thrust. In a vacuum, you don't have that pressure against the engine, so the engine bell can be bigger to push more gas out. That's what my understanding is. But anyhow, I'll be back in a little bit once I let this cure up for a bit.